Good morning, Thunder, and welcome to Strike Up the Conversation. That's right, Strike Up the Conversation, where we celebrate here at St. Michael's the stories, the spirit, the voices of our beautiful high school, located in Bolton, Ontario. My name is Mr. Minardi, and I am your host for this inaugural initiative. Today, we're joined by some of our amazing students who are part of our Thunder community, representing our school through their involvement in our Wings of Faith ministry team. Let's just dive right into what inspires them, the memories they've made and are creating to make, and how they're living out the St. Michael spirit, both inside and outside the classroom. I should probably start by introducing our guests here today. So we have with us Nicholas Greco. Nicky, would you say hello to everyone online? And we also have Sarah Pasuto. Sarah, say hello. That's Adrian, by the way, in the background. Hello, Adriano. Nice to see you. And we have Victoria Zago joining us. As you can see, Thunder, things are always happening here in our chapel and in our Wings of Faith ministry. And, you know, Adriano is always welcome here. This is a beautiful space for all students and staff. And so we also invite all of you to join us when you are able here in our beautiful chapel. So let's begin first with you. Let's just go around the room, maybe introduce yourself, tell us what your name, your grade, and perhaps why you got involved in Wings of Faith ministry. Why don't we begin first with you, Nikki?
Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Nikki. Full name is Nicholas Greco. I'm a grade 10 student, and I joined Wings of Faith last year. I was one of the first people Mr. Minardi met. I remember on the first day he came in, we had our very first meeting, first period. It was a wonderful time. And the reason why I joined is just because I really want to deepen my faith with the church and at school. Passing it on to Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Pasuto. I am a grade 10 student. I joined Wings of Faith last year. I met Mr. Minardi the first day he came in.
Mm-hmm.
We clicked instantly.
Okay.
We spend so much time together sitting in his office just chatting it up. And I joined Wings of Faith to kind of get to know the students at the school in a new way, other than like sports teams. It was something new that I wanted to try.
Hello everybody, so my name is Victoria and I am a grade 10 student here at St. Mike's. And I remember the first time that I met Mr. Minardi, he did think I was a teacher. I remember him trying to call me Vizego, and then he actually finally met me.
But not in person. How?
Yeah.
Why did I think you were a teacher?
He thought I was a teacher because, you know, like I would do the stuff for the Google Classroom because I was very, you know, involved even like before, like when the first time I knew that there was a Wings of Faith meeting, you know, like I was like, okay, I'm going. And I was just involved right then and there. And the reason why I joined Wings of Faith is because, you know, I started doing stuff like Edge at Holy Family Parish, and it was a really fun experience, and I wanted to bring that into our school community, and I really wanted to be involved to not only get to know other students better, but also to get to know myself better within my faith.
Awesome. Why don't we go back to Nikki? So, Nikki, I want you to take just a few minutes, and again, we don't necessarily have to answer the same questions. Maybe I'll mix up the questions. But the question for you, Nikki, is this. How would you describe Wings of Faith to your average student? So someone might be interested in doing an extracurricular activity. Someone might be interested in knowing a little bit more about Wings of Faith. How would you describe Wings of Faith to a student in the school?
Okay, let's think. So I'm just going to throw some things out there. So Wings of Faith has so many initiatives, so that means you get signed out of class and you help out throughout the school. You get to deepen your faith by being a part of masses and street patrols and other sorts of events like that. And Wings of Faith is just really one big community. Because of how much we do and how often we meet, I feel like we're one big family. So if you're looking for a club that feels like a family and you want to like contribute to your faith and to your local community, Wings of Faith is the best. And these initiatives that we do are things such as our monthly potluck, which is the last Thursday of the month. So if you want to join us October 30th, save the date in the chapel.
Awesome.
Our street patrol, last year we got to go on our very first street patrol with Mr. Minardi. One of the best experiences I've had. He also organizes our religion retreats, which I haven't gone on mine yet, but in the past I've heard that they're really fun. So if you're looking for a club, please, Wings of Faith is one big community, and we're always open to anybody and always new members.
All right. Sarah, you're next. So, Sarah, the question for you is this. Can you recall perhaps maybe a memorable event or a memorable moment, something that you really enjoyed doing, whether it be last year, as we just got started this year, and maybe share a little bit about why?
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with what Nikki said with the street patrol. I really enjoy doing street patrol. I love helping everyone in the community and around us. It was super fun because I got to go with all my friends who aren't always coming to the meetings that we have. So it was very fun to just be with them, have fun, spread happiness, give people some food and clothing and warmth. Then we just got a nice afternoon out in the city of Toronto. It was fun.
That's right, always fun. All right, Victoria. Now, Victoria, you have to understand, yes, I did think she was a teacher because she first reached out to me in Google Classroom when I knew I was coming to St. Mike's. So Victoria's done a lot of work behind the scenes, and there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that we don't always talk about or that you don't always see. And Victoria's been a large part of that. Victoria, if you could just share with all our listeners some of the stuff that you do behind the scenes that maybe people don't always see.
So, as everybody will probably now know, I do help run the Instagram and also TikTok. So all of the reels that you guys do see, that is me with also Mr. Minardi's help. I do help try and organize a lot of things. The reason why, I like taking videos of stuff is so then, sometimes I don't have to be part of it. But it's always like very fun to kind of do stuff like that. Like, it's not always that I have to do something and have everybody like know about it and have people be like, oh yeah, like that's Victoria. Like sometimes it's just like, oh, like I wonder who's doing that. Like that's so nice and stuff. I also help out with the Google Classroom, and now that we also made Nikki a teacher, he can also help me out with that too. So there's a little bit less off my back on that as well. But other than that, like I do try and help mainly with things like media, and I always try and get intel from other students of what they would like to see. So if you ever want to reach out to me, or if you're on our Google Classroom, or if you want to join our Google Classroom and there's some things that you guys want to see on our Instagram and our TikTok, please reach out. Please let me know. Everything would have to be approved by Mr. Minardi and the VPs and the principals, just to make sure that it is school appropriate. But other than that, I think that's also been my favorite part about stuff, and it's just really fun.
And Victoria brings up an important part of our ministry is that there's something for everyone, right? So you don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to be really good at, working with the poor. You don't have to be really good at doing announcements, leading announcements in the morning. Whatever your gift is, whether that's opening the door at a mass, whether that's getting people seated, whether that's doing some of the artwork behind the scenes to post online, there is a place for you here in Campus Ministry, in Wings of Faith Ministry. So we do encourage everyone to join us. So as you can see, we have this beautiful statue of Mother Mary here today. It is the month of October, and October in the Catholic Church is the month where we celebrate the praying of the Rosary. And we look to Mary as the perfect model, really, of what it means to be in relationship with God, with Jesus, right? Because she was Jesus' mother, and how she continues to accompany us. So part of our work, too, is our faith, right? And sometimes as young people, so this question is for all three of you, okay? Sometimes as young people, it's difficult to live out your faith. Maybe it's not cool. Maybe it's kind of something you do when you're older. Again, don't think about it too much. Maybe we could start with Sarah this time. Tell us, why is your faith important to you? And maybe has your faith strengthened perhaps by being part of Wings of Faith as well?
Okay, well, let's think. So I grew up in a Catholic household. I go to church almost every weekend or when I can. And that kind of made me want to join this group of students who also do the same stuff that I do, have the same beliefs. And I kind of just really wanted to get into that more and be more in touch with my faith because, as you said, it is very difficult for teenagers and children to be very in touch with their faith. And I kind of wanted to understand that more. So when joining the group, I was hoping that I'd understand it more, and I think I do now. I am much closer with God than I was before I started the group, which is something really weird to think about. But I'm really happy that I joined because I made friends along the way, and it's just a very exciting group to be a part of, and everyone just lifts you up no matter how you're feeling that day.
Thank you. Nikki, how about you next? How is maybe Wings of Faith strengthening your own faith, or even just tell us a little bit about why your faith is important to you?
Yeah, so in my family, religion is a part of our household, and my mom and dad, they always tell me as they were growing up, they always went to church. They always went to church. Every Sunday, they had to go. They always had to go to Sunday school. And that really helped me. So I normally go to the 12 o'clock Mass on Sundays. It's an amazing Mass because there's a lot of singing, the liturgy. And what I love to see at the Sunday Mass, the 12 o'clock, is that I see a lot of people actually from our school, which I'm really happy to see. Not just students too, teachers as well, like Miss Porpat. And the Wings of Faith, the reason why I joined is because I made so many new friends in high school, and they kind of encouraged me, like Victoria, to join Wings of Faith. And as I joined Wings of Faith, then I also hear from other people that the church does stuff. And growing up, my parents never signed me up for, let's say, Rooted or Edge. But now that I know of these stuff, I'm hoping that I'm able to join because I know Life Teen's coming up. That's something that I'm interested in with a busy schedule as well. This year, I think it'll start to clear up, but Wings of Faith has really helped me help with all the stuff that I've missed probably from my elementary years. And now that I'm in the group, I'm able to now deepen my faith and my relationship with God.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. And Victoria. Now, Victoria, I'll ask you a couple of questions. So first, yes, has your faith in any way been strengthened? Tell us why your faith is important to you. But then if you remember, tell us a little bit about Edge at Holy Family. I know you've been involved, and so maybe you can make that connection with Holy Family as well, okay?
Of course.
Yes.
So, again, also my family as well, very religious growing up. We always tried to go to church, and again, then COVID hit, so, we weren't really able to go, but I always tried to, keep up to date with, I would read my Bible and, stuff like that. I would read some of the pages of the Bible, with my mom. And, now, being involved and going to Edge, I joined in grade 8. I remember that, and it was really, really exciting and really fun. And that's when I really started to get into more of, my faith. Growing up, really, yes, I would go to church, but I wasn't really, listening while I was at church. I was kind of just dazing off. I was kind of just, being a kid, fidgeting, with everything I could possibly do. But as I kept going to church, I realized I missed out on so much growing up. I could have known all these things while I was growing up and been more open about my faith. So after grade 8, I did want to join Wings of Faith, which I think really brought out my beliefs. I was really comfortable with expressing how I felt about my religious beliefs and everything like that, and expressing my experience at Edge and stuff. And now I am in Life Teen. I did Life Teen last year, and I could say it was really, really fun. It was enjoyable. It was really more in depth because obviously everybody there is now teenagers, so you do get into more in-depth stuff. And seeing how small the Life Teen group kind of was before really said something to me that a lot of kids don't really accept their faith into their life. A lot of people will say, yeah, I'm Christian, yeah, I'm Catholic, but they never really express it. They never really talk about it. You might go to a Catholic school, but that doesn't mean that you do know half of the stuff in the, but do you know what I mean? You might think that you pray and stuff here and there, but that's still not you might need more. And a lot of people now are kind of confused of thinking they're either Christian or Catholic. I've had a lot of people ask me the differences and stuff like that. And I think that that's also very important to like ask people about your religion so you can get closer to God, because the more you get closer to God, the more He'll put you on the right path in life. And you know that right path in life is gonna get you so far, and it can really bring in amazing people. Like going into Wings of Faith, I was like, hey, I'm gonna have no friends. And I had some pretty amazing friends, you know, like it's really fun. And even if you don't have friends in Wings of Faith, you will definitely make some. And, you know, then you get to also know about stuff like Life Teen, like Edge. And you can actually at Edge or Life Teen, if you're a administrator at Edge, like I am, like I'm helping out with Edge. But in Life Teen, you can even share what's going on in Wings of Faith here at St. Michael's, and you can say, oh, you know, like they're doing this, they're doing that, like we should do this, like we should do that, like, you know, like doing stuff like that. And I think that it's just really important for people to actually come out of their comfort zone and join something like this, just like I did. So then, you know, I can get to know my faith a little bit more and get to know myself a little bit more.
Awesome. All right, let's bring it over to Nikki. We have 2 more questions for each of you, and we'll begin with this question. So, one thing for our listeners to know is that who we've assembled here, this is pretty much as good as it gets. When we're talking ministry, we're talking faith. Yes, even Haley Fasciano, who's behind the scenes. Haley, you want to come out and say hello? Come on, come and say hello. Haley, come. Haley is the brains behind the whole production. Haley, come. Just come and kind of say hello. There's Haley. Hello, Haley. You can wave. You see these nice hoodies we have? Let's turn around for them. Listen, Wings of Faith, isn't that cool? Yes, thank you to David Pozlowski, graduate of St. Mike's and Wings of Faith minister, who actually created these. Yeah. Here's the question, okay? You guys have amazing gifts. And sometimes it's so easy to say, oh, this is wrong with me. I don't do this good enough. I fall short here. But when we ask about your gifts, the things you do well, the things that that people are attracted to because of the qualities you might have, I'm going to put you all on the spot, and I want you to tell me some of your gifts. What are your gifts? What do you bring to Wings of Faith? What are the things that you do well that you know that you can contribute to this group?
Okay, so if you don't know me already, I am really knowledgeable. So I love also to help out when I'm older. I want to do some type of teaching I don't know. But I love to, like, when I see somebody struggling, it really gets to me. So I want to make sure that just everybody feels good at Wings of Faith. And the way I do that is it's not just helping like our ministers out, it's also helping our peers like Mr. Minardi. And so if anybody's struggling, even if it's like with school or with their faith, I'm always there to help out. Another thing that I like to do is I love to stay organized. I think that's one of my gifts.
So true.
So even if you see in our Google Classroom, I've made so many folders, so many subfolders, everything like it needs to be pinpoint. Like there's nothing out of my Google Drive that's not in a folder. But so teaching, being organized, and really just being positive. Like sometimes when there's a negative situation, I always have to try to find the positive, because I feel like nowadays, like let's say somebody gets a bad mark on a quiz. Oh my gosh, I did so bad. Okay, it's just a quiz. You use the quiz to learn from your mistakes. That's what I try to do. I try to make everybody feel good and really just see the positive in a negative situation, like trying to be the light in the dark.
Awesome.
So, Sarah?
Sarah, again, share your gifts. What are some of the things you do well, some of the things that you bring to this beautiful community?
You kind of put me on the spot here, but I think I got some stuff. Like Nikki said, with being positive, I am a very positive person. I love to keep a smile on my face. I love to be warm and welcoming.
Yes.
And I like to say I'm very friendly, and I'm a big people person. And I like to be kind to everyone, because you never know what's happening in someone else's life outside of what they tell you. So I like to be positive, kind, spread awareness about anything that I can, help people. Like Nikki said, Nikki's more into helping, but I love just being there and supporting everyone, getting through hard times, just being there mainly. Another thing that I really am good at is being on time for things. I like to be on time and organized. Nikki's more organized with the computer and everything like that. But I'm very organized in my mind, and I like to make sure I do everything perfectly so it can be done once and done correct. So.
Thank you. And Victoria, what are some of your gifts? The things you bring, the things that you do good, you're good at.
So I think some of my gifts would definitely be being kind. I always have a smile on my face, and also being the mental health champion. I always feel like I always try and put a smile on other people's faces and just have one on mine, and just always let people know, like, it's okay if you're struggling. Just know that you're never alone. I would say I like to help plan things to take some weight off Mr. Minardi's back. I love planning things. I love helping with that. So yeah, I would say I'm kind. I like planning. I am also organized with stuff. Like, sometimes this one drives me crazy because he's not really that organized. And so
Really?
it drives us kind of crazy. So me and Nikki with the Google Classroom, we always try and stay on top with
Behind great people are
fixing.
even greater people. Remember that. Okay, yes, yes,
And
yes.
I would also say another thing about me is that I'm very energetic. So a lot of people, as soon as I walk in the room, I'm already dancing. I'm doing something. I'm doing something that, is a little crazy, some people would say. But, I feel like that's just kind of me. Like, I like being I'm a very extroverted person. I like being very outgoing because that's just who I am. That's how I grew up. I grew up to always be myself and not let other people, take me down and stuff. So, people might give me dirty looks. And you know what? I'm living my best life. If you were me, you would live your best life, I promise.
That's Victoria. We love Victoria.
But yeah, like, me always being that energetic person, it always gets other people. I feel like a lot of, gives them a lot of energy, too. Like, I feel like my energy always bounces off of people. So yeah, I would say that. I would say I'm a very energetic, very outgoing, very kind, and very organized and helpful person.
Awesome. Now, before I get to our last question, I am going to share a gift of each of our guests here today. Okay, and maybe they haven't heard me ever share this gift with them, but they each have amazing gifts, and I want to share them. And again, we had a whole script and a bunch of questions, and I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the questions I told them I would ask, I did it. So this is important, too. It's important that we get to know our guests as best as possible. But I'm going to share, before our last question, I am going to share a gift. So Nick, I can tell you, Nick is incredibly generous. Like, I mean incredibly generous. There's nothing that Nick would not offer up to do or just do on his own. But not only that, Nick is very positive. I don't know if I've ever seen Nick not have a smile on his face. And that's not to say Nick isn't perfect. I mean, isn't, without flaw. Of course he is. But yet, every day when he comes to St. Mike's, every day when he's at Wings of Faith, he's very generous, always offering his help and support, and always has a smile, always very positive. So for Sarah, and I've told this to Sarah earlier this year, I think I have, but Sarah has a very mature presence. When you're around Sarah, you feel like you're around someone important, someone who's got something to give, something to offer. And that's a gift, Sarah. It's an incredible gift. I've seen transformation already in Sarah from last year. And sometimes transformation is looked as a bad thing. No, it's not. We're all growing. We all change. But Sarah has this real presence about her and a real maturity. And so if I'm looking for feedback, or if I'm looking for, give me the real deal on something, I know I could trust Sarah. So Sarah's got an incredible presence in that sort. And when I think of Victoria, it's like, bro, first of all, you have to know Victoria before you can actually know Victoria, okay? And I know that sometimes there's a perception that she's loud and nuts and straightforward and blunt, but that is pure joy. Your gift is joy. I mean that. And I can tell you, I know Victoria's got stuff going on in her life, in her personal life. It's joy. And that joy is a gift because you can't practice it. You can't learn it. Either you have it or you don't. And one thing about Victoria, you have many gifts, Victoria. Yes, organization is one, behind-the-scenes work, all that stuff. But you have joy. And sometimes people take that and twist it. And, it's this, or it's gossip, or it's... No, it's pure joy. It's authenticity. You are authentic, and you have to always continue to be that, okay? Anyways, last question. Here we go. Last question. Are we ready, Nikki? Okay,
I think
Nikki, Sarah, and we'll leave Victoria at the end. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I've been running podcasts now for about 2.5 years.
What?
A lot of the podcasts that I run are with Radio Maria Canada. I know it's like this Catholic station, but if you're ever on the internet, go to Radio Maria Canada podcast. Young people, Angelo Minardi, you'll find it. Oh yes, oh yes. This is home. This is. I think.
This is new to us, sir. We
People
never know
think
this.
that I should be a radio announcer. No, I think I should be a podcaster. Does that even make sense? Maybe when I retire
podcaster.
in 5.5 years, and when I retire in 5.5 years, I'm gone, bro. Like gone, okay? But maybe I'll do some podcast. Here's the question.
Okay.
And I've asked this to
Bring it.
every young person I've interviewed. If you could share a message with the world, if I gave you the platform today, here's the world. They're all ears.
Right there.
What would you share with the world today? What message would you like to give the world?
Okay, 2 words, okay? Be positive. It's literally
Beautiful.
it. I see so many people, like just around school, they're just so, like, they're always, like, I see people that are down. I see people, you know, they're sad. They're just, yeah, they really feel down. And it just, as before I said, it really hurts to see. And if people were just to be positive, like I know in some situations it can be sad, but I'm sure if you find the light in the dark, you'll always find a positive thing out of it. And so yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you, Nikki. Sarah, if you had the world right here, right now, what would you tell the world?
I'm going to say everything happens for a reason. This is something that I stand by, and I always keep this in the back of my mind at all times, because no matter what happens, there's a reason, because you have a path in life. God has a path for you, and you have to get through some of these obstacles to find out where you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to become. But everything happens for a reason. You fail that test, maybe it's because you're not supposed to be in that class. Maybe that brings you to a better job in the future that you were not expecting. Everything happens for a reason. And not everyone believes that, but that's something I personally stand by. And I think about every single day. I need to get it tattooed one day.
Yeah, that would be
Soon,
awesome.
soon.
Yeah.
Not right now. But
Oh,
yeah.
we're not saying parents to get our
No.
kids to tattoo, but that would be a cool
That'd be
tattoo,
pretty
actually.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, that's what I think. Everything happens for a reason.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. And Victoria, if you could share a message with the world, what would you tell the world?
I would tell them to be yourself and never let anybody change that. Because as somebody who, you know, always thought that I had to be this perfect person for every other person, I had to look a certain way, I had to act a certain way in front of other people, it was really like, this is not me, and I was very unhappy. And seeing other people out here in our school or just out here in the world, you know, not being them true selves and, you know, like trying to be somebody that they're not, I would always tell them, like, be yourself and don't let anybody change that, because you are made uniquely. God made you in the best way possible. He makes everybody unique. He makes everybody the way that he thinks will benefit them the most. And as somebody who's very energetic, I will never let anybody change that for me. So yeah, if I could tell the world, I would tell them to just always be yourself.
Awesome. Could we not like spend another half hour together? Is this not incredible? But anyways, this is only the beginning, Thunder. Every month, we're going to have a different group here at St. Mike's that we're going to celebrate. Next month, we're going to be interviewing Mike TV. So the real brains behind our morning announcements, the real brains behind all our technology and all the work behind our podcasts. And so stay tuned. And then we'll have groups like Student Council. We'll have our Raise program. And you got to hear some of our Raise kids as well at the beginning of the podcast, which, again, this chapel, and that's why we interviewed here, or we had our podcast here. This chapel is open to everyone. This chapel, God is here. This is holy ground. This is sacred ground, and we invite everyone to make sure that at some point in your day you make your way to our chapel. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of our guests, of course, and to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this inaugural episode of Strike Up the Conversation. Shout out to Sarah. That was Sarah's idea, okay? Strike Up the Conversation. It's always inspiring to hear how our students live out their faith, how they live out their excellence, how they work in their community, and how they participate every day, whether it's on the field, in their classrooms, on stage, behind the scenes, wherever it is, our students truly embody what it means to be a member of our Thunder family. So, until next time, I'm Mr. Minardi, your host, and it's been a pleasure to share this with you everywhere we go, the heartbeat of St. Mike's, and we start here with our Wings of Faith ministry team. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
We'll see you
Thank
later.
you.
Looking forward to next month.